All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, Low End Gigolos, once again. And we're here with Leonarda.
Hey!
The Albanian sensation.
Yeah. I used to be a liberal, and now I'm a racist.
Those are the only two choices, the only two things you can be in this world.
Dun, dun, dun. It's over.
Yeah, there's no middle ground anymore.
You know what? I know you've been wanting to talk about this since yesterday when I couldn't do the episode. So you know what? Take it away.
You know what? You didn't really get Corona, okay? The CIA called you up and was like, listen, we got to shut this fucking bitch up.
Yep.
She's too fired up. Right. She knows too much shit. So we need you to go along with this hoax we've been calling COVID.
I like where you're going with this, Leonarda. I really do.
It's just like the rabbis when tried being Jewish as a kid.
I'm awake. I see it. You're not gonna get me. That's why I didn't leave my house all day, so they couldn't kill me. Okay?
Right.
Wow.
Kill me after, but the truth will be out there.
Yeah, but now they're all going to try to kill you because you're beefing with, you have abandoned all sides.
Well, you know what's really good is that you're going to be able to live for at least another week because we have very few listenership in this episode. So, you know, your secret's safe with us.
Classic John.
Classic John.
Has your listenership gone down because of the quarantine?
Because you haven't been here.
Oh.
No, actually, although we did get a Leonarda spike for sure.
Yeah.
We did, yes.
Baby, I like it like that.
I like it like that.
Yo, so here's the deal, okay? I was a hardcore Bernie Sanders supporter.
Tell them what you did, son.
I fucking donated to that motherfucker on a multiple weekly basis. Twice a week, I was donating to this bitch, okay?
Time,
money.
And time.
And time. I was doing calls for Bernie. I was calling Florida, okay? Florida! Are you fucking kidding me? You think I want to talk to Florida? But I talked to Florida. I got people to show up and go vote for him. Then this motherfucker doesn't even want to put up a fight when the DNC challenges him. That's when I call bullshit. That's when I say, you did not want to win, okay? What happened to we have a right to vote? What am I going to do now as a Democrat in the primaries? I don't have a fucking choice. I don't know when this has ever happened that you don't finish a primary and let people cast their votes. So to me, that is the DNC saying, we don't give a fuck about voters. We don't give a fuck about votes. We run this shit, and all you fucking plebeians are too fucking retarded to really know what's going on. So we're going to fuck you in the ass, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, it also feels like, motherfucker, you know how back in the day they had that vote or die t-shirt?
Yes.
Like, it feels like these motherfuckers are like, Democrat or die. Like, like you can't even disagree. They're like, yo, what are we doing here?
That's more of the left. That's more of the lefty sort of like, I would say 2014, 2015, that like regime came in socially where it's like, as soon as you disagree with like the party line, then you're a racist. Like Leonardo was it.
I got to ask you, where did that come from?
That came from the left.
Yes, but where did the plebeian left get that idea from?
Diddy.
The commie-ass fucking insane people.
Puff Daddy said that shit. All right.
Thank you, Kevin. You are not wrong. It's called media manipulation. They went ahead and got who was the hottest celebrity at the time, P. Diddy, who, like, you know, not for nothing, but when has he ever made a song? Okay, he's always on everybody's fucking track. Like, he keeps changing his name like 17 times. Like, that's the most interesting thing about him.
Hit him with it, Josh.
If you really want to know what it is, it's hypocritical socialism. It's basically hypocrisy.
Josh, sidebar, Josh.
Yeah.
I know that sounds true and all, but she was going for P. Diddy for some reason. Let me get your choice.
You had the chance to go Suge Knight.
No, what the fuck?
No, I'm not making sound bits.
I'm giving you gave us that fucking girl group called Danity Kane. If you want to see something that's then to take away your brain cells, it's called fucking Danity Kane. What kind of goddamn name is Danity Kane?
Preach.
What is that? I don't know who I'm listening to. And then you see 5 anorexic fucking prostitutes being
they were in very good shape.
We've been raped for all our lives, but we're here singing to you.
Oh, I remember that song. That was a hit.
That was a hit.
So all I'm saying is wake up.
No, what people have to wake up to is that corruption and people who want to control the world are always going to be the ones who are in power for the most part. Yeah. So regardless of whether it's Republican or liberal, the ones who control the game are going to fix the game, and that's what you're realizing.
Well, and the other thing, Josh, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is like one thing that I never liked the new regime of of lefty ideologues that came into social power around 2015, because the thing I hate about utopian ideas is that it's everyone's going to follow the rules and everyone is going to make sure this utopian thing. The truth is that people are selfish and they do things for their own ends. So the minute they can steal a little bit or skim a little off the top, that's what they're going to do. And all of these believers think that that's not the fucking truth. And I can't get with it. And that's the same attitude of you said something wrong. Well, now you're out of the club because you're evil because you said something wrong. Meanwhile, we all say bad shit when no one's around.
So let me just say this real quick. So here's the thing with people who have utopian philosophies or dreams of them. There's really only two types of people who believe in the utopian dream. And those are people who are going to be real innocent and fucking abide by it and have good ethics and true values, which is a very tiny percentage of the world, but they exist. And the rest of them are evil pieces of shit. Those are the only people who believe in utopian society. The rest of us live in the middle.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think, here's the thing. Here's the big thing about this whole fucking bullshit, right? Is that the left is over here gaslighting America. They're screaming that Trump is a Nazi. What's
gaslighting? What's gaslighting?
Gaslighting is when you basically make people think they're crazy by denying reality and accusing other people of doing the very thing you're doing.
You manipulate them.
If you ever were with a psychotic girlfriend who would always accuse you of cheating on her, but she was the one cheating on you, that's a classic example of gaslighting, okay? And right now, the DNC is the psychotic girlfriend or boyfriend, because that happens too. And they're basically saying Trump's a Nazi. Anybody that supports him is a Nazi. The whole right, this is how Hitler started. You know what, motherfuckers? This is how Hitler started, with what you're doing. Because what you're doing says they're so evil that they deserve to get killed. That is the undertones. When you have people who support Trump, who are being called into the principal's office because they wear a Trump shirt, they're being rioted against, they're being thrown things that, to me, is Nazism. You think you are justified in treating the red side so terribly because you are so convinced that they have crimes against humanity, that they're racist. Well, guess
Look at what they did to Kanye West.
Yeah, they made him crazy. They say he's crazy. This is what they do for everybody. And then here's the best part, right? They call Trump racist, okay? They call the people that support Trump racist. And then when you point out that, hey, there's actually black people who support Trump, you know what they say? Oh, they're
Uncle Toms.
They say they're Uncle Toms. They say they've been brainwashed. Okay, now tell me that that's not a racist dialogue.
It is racist.
You're basically saying that black people cannot make a choice for themselves because at the minute they choose something that you, the left, the white left, has deemed to be okay, they're fucking.
What it really is at the fundamental part, it's communist and it's totalitarianism and it's fucking telling you that you can't have an opinion of your own.
You know, it's like the right wing is in love with authoritarianism from its core values. They love the idea of they love the idea of a leader, a strong leader, and follow the rules and police. That's right. That's right at its core.
Let's be a little bit careful because there's a difference between loving a strong leader and loving authoritarianism. Because on the same time that the right loves a strong leader, which you're right about that, they also love your right to have guns and your individual right.
There are certain things that they do love, but they also love a top down. They love the gun freedom thing, but very few other personal freedoms. You try to go outside of your schema in those areas, and you're an outlier, and then you don't have rights. But on the other hand, the lefty, they're actually in love with this sort of communist identity politics that was really in vogue, like when communism started, and actually like all of the, like they tried to pit all of like the Slavic nations against each other and say, hey, the salvation is in this book, you know, in the red, you know, the red manifesto. Meanwhile, it was a way of getting everybody in line and, you know, getting rid of them. So it's like they're both wrong.
I think we're having, this is what I'm trying to wake people up to, is we are so critical of the right. Okay, so we're awake. But when it comes to the left, they're literally getting away with murder and nobody is critical about them because they stand on a moral high ground. Because we have trans rights on the left, because we have gay rights on the left, because we support women on the left. So nothing we could be doing is wrong. And I'm like,
but you know, there's gay Senator Republicans, but they completely deny they exist.
Well, of course, because they want to co-opt values. They want to co-opt values that we citizens actually have. Women's rights is a legitimate thing. Black rights is a legitimate thing. But you are co-opting it for your goals. And the goal ultimately is what you're seeing right now in America, where people are at each other's fucking throats. And the minute you say a few trigger words, nobody can even fucking talk to you rationally anymore.
Right. And the Republican Party freed the slaves. So
I feel like
throw that in there. Throw that in there.
I feel like the things going on in the world is like a good like one-to-one relationship to Game of Thrones, in that the true issue is like an ecological disaster, that, which is funny that we are in a pandemic, which is similar to an ecological disaster, in the same way that like the Dust Bowl or, you know, or a famine or a great famine would be.
Well, you know what? Game of Thrones is not actually a metaphor. There's a swarm of dead zombies who are coming. They're coming, okay? And you guys better have some fucking guns.
You gotta build that wall. Build that wall.
Get a gun.
They have an ice-breathing dragon.
We need a wall because that fucking dragon is coming. And if we don't have a goddamn wall.
That's racist. Don't call the Chinese dragons. That's not. I saw something. Again.
I didn't know CNN had arrived to the party to twist
I know.
my words. Welcome, CNN.
First of all, I love Chinese people. Some of my closest.
Wait a second. Hold on. I want to say, Leonarda, you're not saying that like the Chinese are not a threat, are you?
No, I think absolutely.
Are you? Yeah, I mean, this is the irony of like our own little infighting. It's that like there are other forces in the world that will kill us. It's like they're all, you know what I mean? It's like,
and
they're manipulating us to fight against each other too.
The Democrats are fucking, I swear to God, I really believe the Democrats have fucking sold out. I think that they are working, I don't know who the fuck they're working for, but they're not working for goddamn America. I'm going to tell you this. Because let me just tell you this. Right, first of all, the World Health Organization fucking lied to us. Okay, they knew that there was human-to-human transition in December. In January, they were saying there's no evidence of it. They knew that the body count was way higher than China was saying. They came out and said China's doing a really great job of maintaining this.
Right.
China restricted travel from the Wuhan province to every other part of China. But you know what they didn't restrict? International departing flights from Wuhan.
That's right.
So President Trump comes in and says, guess what? We're going to stop funding while we investigate this, because we are giving them $500 million a year to fucking shaft us, okay? And what does the left do? This is going to be really bad for America. How? Because what? We're not going to know about diseases? You mean like the disease we didn't know about right fucking now while they had
son, yo. Hey, yo, somebody clip that shit.
So, first of all, obviously you've come to this philosophy because you're a brilliant, hilarious comedian. So I'm very proud of you. But I saw something today. So, you know, the United States and China, we signed a trade deal, you know, leading, I think it was sometime in November or December, or maybe it was even January, with China. And China put a stipulation in the trade deal that the trade deal would be on pause, or there would be an amendment to it if some sort of natural disaster, non-human disaster occurred, an act of God, including a pandemic.
Wow.
So that fucking trade, you know, Trump put their fucking balls in a vice. It gives them a very good, motive to go and fuck everything up.
Here's the other thing. China doesn't give a fuck about its people, okay?
Of course not.
That's that's the other thing, yeah.
So they shut down for a very brief period of time, and then they opened back up to get their fucking economy going. Meanwhile, they stopped testing people for COVID. People are still getting COVID. Lots of people are dying. They're building new fucking crematoriums to burn bodies. So that their economy can keep going while ours fucking tanks.
Yeah, it's not even, hold on. It's not even just our economy. It's our way of life. So China, I swear, I got to say these couple things. First of all, you know what they have? They have drones, little drones that fly around areas where COVID is. And if they saw people congregating, the drone would give them a verbal warning. You're not allowed to hang out together. We
started fucking having that.
We're actually importing those drones right now. Okay? It's a fucking fact.
So if you don't think that the fucking DNC has Chinese agents working inside of it,
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Wake up.
You have to consider China as the world's greatest corporation. And what a corporation is after is simply profits. Yeah. They don't give a fuck about the people.
Profits and power. Profits and power.
Everything
Power always wants more power. That's what people don't understand. I heard some fucking person say, what does Bill Gates want? He has $99 billion. What does he want? You know what? When he had $10 billion, why did he keep going to 99? Because he wanted more and more and more. If you fucking trust that a billionaire gives a shit about your poor ass, you're retarded. Wake the fuck up.
Until they make penis transplants work, he's going to be upset.
Kevin, you're our only Mexican here. So
yeah,
Kevin tuned out a long time ago. He is like, man.
Let us know how you feel about Trump because he's attacked your people.
I'm Dominican and...
Like I said, Mexican. So keep going.
That's the hackiest thing you've done in like 2 years.
Thank you.
She really is Republican now.
Yeah, she really switched sides, huh?
Listen, I'm in character. I just went out and bought 2 AK-47s, and if they come and try to take my American rights, they're gonna get a dap in the face.
The reason why I didn't tune out, I loved everything you guys said. It was amazing. I loved it, right? But what was bothering me the most is that Josh Palin kept speaking and then like just showing the top of his head.
Oh so yeah, Josh, stop doing that.
Thank you.
Look at Bernie Sanders talking to fucking Cardi B last night, and that was disrespectful. I got to tell you, to me, our guest and the viewers.
You talking about my head?
Yes.
Well, This is the thing. I listened to our last couple podcasts, and it sounded like I was in an echo chamber. So I'm trying to talk next to the mic.
You going closer to the mic isn't going to help that.
You're really loud, Josh.
Yeah, but I sounded really echoey in the last episode.
So wait, what happened with Bernie Sanders talking? Why is he still fucking doing campaigns? It's done, bro.
No. I think he was trying to endorse Biden, but I didn't see it, so...
First of all, talk about a fucking sellout, okay? Before he fucking lost, he said, even if I tell you to vote for somebody, don't vote for anybody that somebody tells you to vote for, even if it's me. And now he thinks...
But, okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
So, like, what I don't understand is why, like, you think that... I mean, one way of looking at this whole thing is nihilistically, like, none of these agents... Let me pick the less shitty one to go with, which I still feel is the Democratic side. The Republican side, the Republican side is pure, just open-faced. We don't give a fuck about you. We are giving the money to the corporations, and we are going to shit on this earth until it poisons all of you. Now, the Democratic side may be doing that 50% less, but at least they do believe not that God is going to save us. Like, at least they have some sort of Darwinian basis in their, like, base line of thinking.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but all the deals that have happened that have given away our rights and our money happened under, well, not all of them, because we had Bush, thank you, fucking piece of shit, who should be tried for war crimes, who took away a lot of our constitutional rights under the bullshit Patriot Act, okay?
For your safety.
Yeah, well, this is why I say to people, don't come at me with, oh, it's for your safety. I'm not saying we should go around fucking coughing on senior citizens, but don't come at me with, we all have to like not work now, but we have to pay our rent. Excuse me, which one is it? Okay. Second of all, a lot of the rights that you lost were under Democratic leadership. This is what people don't understand. A lot of the stuff, they're not helping global warming with us what are they doing? They haven't done anything for global warming. What they did was they took all the jobs and they outsourced them to other countries, which to me means, who do you work for?
I work for the world. I work for the American
well,
people.
I think that is like the good, what do you call it? Like that underscores everything, because like a globalized world that, where corporate, but at the same time, like these are things that are dominoes that were falling before we were all born. Like like you mentioned the Patriot Act, like 9/11 did happen, and it did put the world in a similar, like, all right, we have to assess what's
written. And the Patriot Act was written before 9/11 happened. People don't talk about that shit.
Yeah.
And then they were just waiting. They were just waiting. What's the right opportunity? Now, the benign look is they wrote it and they know that we live in a war-torn world and something's going to happen. The fucking more sinister look is they wrote it and they fucking planned something happening.
Yeah.
Which is not beyond our government. We have seen them do this time and time again historically.
Our government are also the people that built like the Obamacare website when they wanted to do a good thing. Like, they have not proven themselves as being an efficient thing. Like, go to the DMV, go to all the agencies that the government runs. They all suck shit. They don't have like great track record of making things. Everyone who works for the government, go to look up like your government job. Everyone's like, $450, it's $450. I'm already out the door. Those are your government workers. Like, it's not the best and brightest.
So
our
here's
innovation is with the corporates and with capitalistic things.
If we had this podcast a week ago, I would have been saying to you, the DNC shafted Bernie Sanders. He's really here for the people. We have to fucking fight for him. Trump is evil. He's a racist and he's trying to destroy us. So what happened between last week and this week?
I'm gonna be honest with you. In this day and age, usually people, like, once they're on a fucking side, they double down. And this is the first time in a long time I've seen someone go, "Nah, I gotta flip the script."
Because here's what happened.
Switch, Drake.
I got some information.
Your mother reminded you, don't trust the Jew, I told you.
Oh, look at Josh. I was waiting for her to say something about Jews, but he had to step in. He had to do it.
But I didn't care.
Jews, and Josh had to do it.
Thanks.
Don't
It was
trust
a joke, man.
Don't trust the Jew. Well, we can't trust the Jew or the Christian or the Muslim, apparently, because
That's right. Everyone's a piece of shit.
We can't trust Joe Biden, who's the Christian, and we can't trust Obama, who's the Muslim. Don't tell me he ain't Muslim with the middle name Hussein. Okay?
Respect.
I come from a Muslim background, and it takes one. Real recognizes real, bitch.
He wasn't born in America.
Kevin, second hackiest thing.
Listen up. There is a wonderful documentary that you guys need to go out and watch. It's only an hour long. I think you bitches can fucking tolerate an hour of stuff. It's called Out of Darkness. Okay? It's on YouTube. It basically trails the media's tactics for manipulating your thoughts and opinions on things, and the ways in which they have over the last, especially since 2016, but probably beyond that, how they have tailored their stories to really get people divided and fired up. And one thing I recognized after stepping back, Out of Shadows. Did I say out?
Leonarda, I got to stop you right there. I do not watch Doug Boston documentaries.
But Leonarda, that's the one where they show that they show like 100 different press, different local television shows, and they're all reading the same verbatim thing.
Sorry, just let me correct it. I said Out of Darkness. That's wrong. It's Out of Shadows. So for your listeners, it's Out of Shadows. It already has like 7 million views. It's only been out for 4 days. Okay. Here's the deal. That's the one they show you that fucking shit where you see the press just all fucking.
Have you seen that, John?
It's like they're under a cult.
No, but I mean, I don't believe in our institutions and things like that.
John, it's the crazy. I don't know if anyone, John or Kev, I don't know if you saw this. It's literally, it starts with a local television show reading something. I forgot what it's regarding.
I'll send you guys a link in the chat box when we're done.
And I'll find you just that. I'll find you just that part.
That's what I have. I have the link to just that.
Because it breaks the matrix of our reality. So it shows you a local newscast. They're reading a script. It doesn't look like a script because, they read off teleprompters. They know how to do that. But they start reading whatever they're saying, and they're like, this is damaging our democracy. And then they show another screen and they're saying it at the exact same time. It ends up like 70 little boxes of news reporters in different stations reading the same exact script.
Same script.
Let's do it together. This is damaging our democracy. Ready?
No.
I don't know it by heart.
Let's just say this is damaging our democracy.
Ready?
All right.
Ready?
Oh.
This is damaging our democracy.
Yeah.
Listen,
Well, now we know who has the delay.
I told you, we're all retarded. So
Yeah.
here's
Oh, who fucked up?
That's me.
Oh, that's my Just fan. Sorry.
It's from my God. So here's the thing, right? Because like what you said is exactly correct, John. When people have a point of view, they refuse to see any other information outside of that. And the mark of a truly intelligent person is when you get new information, you change your mind. You start to examine things. So based on that documentary, I started asking myself questions like, is Trump really a racist? Where did I get the idea that he's the most dangerous president that needs to be stopped?
I mean, from the Central Park Five. That's where we knew he was a racist from, in 1985.
Thank you for bringing that up. Because in the Central Park, when the Central Park 5 crime happened, it was actually all the media outlets who pushed that these guys were guilty. And they played on every racist stereotype about black men to really rile up the people and say, these guys gotta go. So when Trump took out the ad, he was doing what he always does, which is take advantage of like where the public is. He took out a full page ad calling for people who were presumed to be guilty, which was a mistake on the part of the people, him, and the media.
What about Hillary and super predators?
Well, hold on, let's stick on this topic. Because the media, instead of saying, hey, we're the ones who created the fucking hysteria around these guys, and that's why he took out this ad, they just point to his ad. And they point to his ad now when we have the information of knowing they were innocent.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But what about good people on both sides during Charlottesville? What about good people? What about that?
I can't talk on that because I haven't done my research and I need to do more research before.
I can talk
They
on
asked
that.
him, what about when they were like, do you know David Duke? And he was like, he wouldn't say anything bad about him. Like, I mean, listen.
And then he denounced him. He denounced him just like a week later.
The media can do a hit job on Trump, but like, we can also see him for who he is. He's very transparent.
He's not a racist. He's an advantagist. He takes advantage of whatever he can.
My point is that there is hysteria, okay? What has happened is that the media has done a very good Pavlovian trick, okay? Pavlov would ring a bell and then he would feed his dog. Ring a bell and feed his dog. So what happened? He rung a bell, no food, the dog still started salivating because the dog had linked up the two things. So what has the media done with Trump? Trump, racist. Trump, rapist. Trump, xenophobe. Trump, evil. Constant with images, with clipping his stuff and putting it side by side, with catching headlines that have nothing to do with the article. So what has happened? The word Trump has become a dog whistle for anybody who entertains the media. They hear Trump and they start salivating like fucking rabid zombies. They can't even critically analyze anything in front of them. Like, hey, might it be a good idea to not fund the WHO who's fucking in the bed of the Chinese Communist Party? Oh no, Trump said it, it must be wrong.
So
you're retarded.
Beep this, retards. Fucking when 2016, I was in the Army. And a lot of negative.
Oh my God. Who knew we had an army man around us? Listen.
I know. Not Leonarda.
How do you think he got his citizenship here?
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. So here's the deal though, Kevin. When everything goes to hell, we're coming to your house and you're going to lead the SWAT team operation.
All right, yeah, sure.
I know. Well, he lives with Josh.
Getting real.
Don't stop.
All right.
He's from Israel. I got war vets with me. Come on, bro. And we got
and I'm Albanian, so you know, war is just in my blood. It's what we do. We kill.
Albanians are true patriots.
But check this out. So I'm getting all this. You know, I'm on my Facebook all the time. I'm bored and shit, and I'm seeing all this stuff about Trump and how he stinks and like he's a racist. He's saying he's not gonna allow Muslims in the country. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, fuck this guy. This guy's an asshole, you know.
Yep.
And then what happened? Like a year later, he's president, or he's. I think he's president. I'm pretty sure he's president. And he says something about like he wants the wall, and And the reason why is because Mexicans are rapists and thieves. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's some wild shit to say on CNN or something.
Right.
And then my buddy, because I'm in the Army, I reposted, he goes, Kev, that's not what he said.
Mm.
And he sent me the link of what he said, and I was like, oh, this shit ain't for me.
Yep.
He was talking about the gangs, fucking MS-13.
Yes.
He said MS-13 are rapists, they're fucking gangsters, and they don't belong in the country.
And what does the left do?
So the left is
go ahead and
MS-13.
So look at the racism of the left.
Yeah.
Because to the left, all Mexicans are MS-13. So when he says MS-13, he's saying Mexicans because they're fucking racist pieces of shit and they want to lie. And here's the other thing. This is what people don't talk about. The most evil thing that we have in the world is nowhere on the news. And that is these pedophile cults and child trafficking.
I knew you were going to get there, Leonarda, and I got to tell you, you really believe it? I'm going to ask you, you really believe
some crazy videos out
there? Let me
lately.
tell you something. Where is all this fucking child pornography coming from?
What? I don't watch child pornography.
What do you? I mean, what child pornography?
I don't even know
what child pornography are you talking about? All of this?
Just email to me on a daily basis. I don't even have time to watch.
No wonder the FBI is looking for you. I don't know.
That's called a joke, you fucking piece of shit.
We forgot you're a comedian. We thought you were a political comment.
Jesus Christ. Where did you get there?
Not tell reality anymore. Here's the thing.
You really believe it though?
I mean,
okay, do you think pedophilia?
Do you also believe in QAnon? Like, how deep down the rabbit hole are you?
Hold on. Why don't everybody rewind a little bit, okay? You know, I want to go down that hole. It has been.
Just one more question. Do you still do comedy?
Yeah, not on this episode, but it's all right. She's riled up.
First of all, if you don't find this shit funny, that people can't fucking think for themselves and they're fucking putting a mask on and being like, can you put the boot on my neck, please?
Well, Leonardo, let me ask you this. If we played like the first 10 or 15 minutes or so of what we've been talking about to you a year and a half ago, would you lose your mind?
I would lose my mind. If you were a time traveler,
Clip that.
And you came back and said, Leonardo, in a year and a half, you're going to be defending Trump, I would be like, that doesn't sound like me, but you better watch out. Something's happening.
So Leonardo, sorry, you continue.
Let me just say this about this. Okay. Human trafficking is a very real problem. We all know that documentary that was out that really portrayed my people in a bad way, Taken. Okay. Okay. However,
hell yes, dude.
That was based on
yes.
fact, dude. That was based on fact. People, they fucking, human trafficking is a real issue. And they pretend they put it under immigration policies and a lot of it illegal. And so much of the people that cross the borders from Mexico to New York, a lot of these guys just take kids with them that aren't their fucking kids.
But the majority, like for human trafficking, the real like 80% of the issue is actually still with Asia, because 80% of the human trafficking going on is sweatshops that are here among us in the cities, in Chinatown, in little fucking dungeons, and they come over in the hulls of ships. And that's, I mean, I don't know.
Do we all agree that human trafficking is a real problem? And that it really is?
You know, we need to call it what it is. It's human slavery. Slavery still exists in this day and time.
Let me ask you a question. Where is it on the media channels?
Well, here's an issue.
Well, I think saying Trump is
a big issue with that is, I think a lot of like bad things that people are doing are being done in countries where there's people's skin color is not white, and to a point of your liberalism, the left doesn't want to say that fucking the stuff they do to women's bodies in the Middle East is because it would be insensitive to say about your religion, or they don't want to say about the human trafficking in Asia, and they don't want to say about like these things because it's a little bit racist to even point out.
Because all cultures because it's in their culture. Let me tell you something. As somebody who comes from a Muslim background that does not respect women and that is fucking misogynistic, in my culture, there is a misogynistic take towards women. I am so grateful that my parents moved to America when I was a kid, because it gave me a sense of my own identity. I saw that, hey, the way you guys treat women here is not the way women are supposed to be treated. And it made me into a fucking feminist, okay? And if I had been born in Albania and raised in Albania, I don't know I don't know that I would have come to those same conclusions. I may have accepted.
Brainwashed.
I may have accepted being a second-class citizen and thought I was fine because I had to.
Allah bless America.
Let me tell you something, yo. The household does work better when you're a second-class citizen. Am I right or am I right?
Kevin Sanchez on
Kevin
the board.
Sanchez playing the class.
That's the man who's quarantined with a Jew and is probably willing to get down on it.
If you talk to my slave like that one more time.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
But I just want to say that's exactly what you're talking about, this multicultural perspective, but it's inherently racist because it means that you can't criticize someone because, God forbid, that makes you racist. These things are things that don't contribute to human happiness. These are misguided policies. I don't care what your fucking culture is. I don't care.
Fuck your culture.
If you are using children for fucking disgusting ends and you're abusing them, your culture deserves to fucking be dismantled. Okay? That's how cultures change. Because you people evolve and they go, sorry, this doesn't work for us anymore. And what? We're now gonna protect it? We're protecting things that fucking are taking advantage of people who can't defend themselves? Fuck you.
You sound like a Zionist.
So, Leonarda, I think like
a Zionist.
What does that make me a Zionist?
I don't know. I just felt like
Josh doesn't know the meaning of words.
Anything about Jews
tonight.
Yeah.
Josh is like, I looked up a few words before this podcast.
Yeah.
So God damn it.
So Leonarda,
yeah.
The big thing about like this, the passion behind all of these things you're talking about is that you feel like just recently, like you flipped your worldview recently.
I feel like no, because I didn't flip my worldview because there were things that I always believed in. I believed in the sanctity and protection of children. That's one of those things that's so close to my heart that if anybody because one, I was physically abused. Okay, this is a reality, and I seen the devastating effects that has on people firsthand. Me, my siblings, and I made a vow. When I was started kind of coming to and realizing this was abuse, I have a younger brother who's several years, he's like 16 years younger than me. And I said, nobody's ever going to do to you what was done to me. And let me tell you, this kid is amazing. He flourishes. He's able to, do things that I was never able to do at his age because I had been abused. Okay.
Fucked up. Yeah.
So the devastating effects that has on children and that you are doing it to people who cannot protect themselves, to me is a fire in my belly. That if I don't give a shit what fucking side of the political divide you are on.
Right.
If you are associated with that kind of shit and you will defend people who do that kind of shit because it's their culture or whatever the fuck you want to say.
And who passed the Child Protection Act?
Here we go.
I don't know. Sorry.
Donald Trump did. That was one of the first things he did when he got into office.
So I thank you. I don't know a lot about Donald Trump. I got to tell you,
Leonarda, as much as you're feeling this whole thing right now, you got to understand that Josh is in the bag for Donald Trump for no reason. He doesn't know anything. He's a complete idiot.
No,
he's a complete idiot.
No, I have my reasons, and my reasons are my,
he thinks that it's going to bring upon the Messiah.
For every, I hope you're right, for every Josh that we have 10 fucking pansy ass, completely privileged liberals who never saw a black person in their life, and if they saw one, they would cross the street, who were talking about microaggressions.
Yeah, and they all moved to New York and started doing comedy.
They all moved to fucking New York, started doing comedy, and they're not even fucking funny. You want to?
And they made the black kid move across the street.
They made the black kid move across the street, and they are the first people to scream racism. And they don't even fucking associate with anybody that's not in their socioeconomic or racial class.
The nice thing is that they left New York because of the virus.
You have 10 of those people for every one of Josh who just hate Trump without actually knowing why.
Like Trump.
He likes Trump for not knowing why.
No, I know. Josh likes Trump. That's one person
right.
who trusts Trump.
Well,
you have 10 people who hate him like that who don't know why.
I think what you're talking about also is like a wider phenomenon that I think, here's my theory about it, but I feel like it coincides with the fact that at a certain time, at a certain point, from let's say the year 2000 to now, the written word, the printed word, the vetted word, like remember, in order to get information that's vetted, you'd have to go to an encyclopedia where like multiple sources had to be cited, and that was treated as gospel. You know, to have your name in print meant something. To go
Right.
from that time to a time when things can appear on the internet, there's no validity, no one's checking, people are stealing information and repurposing it, and that becoming the norm, you have almost the same thing that happened as when the Bible was printed for the first time in the 1400s, and then everybody like had their own interpretation of the Word of God, because then it was like you've democratized printing so that everybody could fucking print, and now
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Become, you know, mushy.
I think that is a big thing that's co-opted as the reason why there's so much fake media out there. And what they don't talk about is that a lot of these quote unquote vetted, trusted resources, these fair and balanced resources, are fucking lying pieces of shit. That they take things that they know to be true and they twist it. Can I ask you why they didn't print the stories of Joe Biden's accusers when they came out? In fact, they gave Joe Biden's camp final approval on the articles they were going to write. They didn't do that with Brett Kavanaugh, who, by the way, I don't fucking like Brett Kavanaugh. I don't like anybody who's sort of restricting women's rights. I think, you know, sometimes, listen, the Republican side can be just as fucking crazy as the left side, okay? I will fully admit that, but the difference is we're aware that the Republican side can be crazy.
Are you pro-choice?
I am pro-choice. Yes,
we'll work on that.
Look at this guy. Oh my God.
I know, really.
Let me tell you why. Listen, okay. I don't think abortion should be treated lightly. I don't think it should be, oh, I got pregnant and I wasn't ready.
Right.
But that's a personal responsibility. And
I agree with you. I'm not a fucking lunatic. I'm pro women's choice, especially if their life is
I'm going to explain to you why, even if it's morally wrong to have an abortion, which I'm not going to have that debate because I don't know the facts around that. Okay, I'm not God. I don't know what God says about that.
And besides, you're talking to three guys who really should have no say.
Well, from the Jewish perspective, a baby doesn't get its soul, I think, until about 4 or 5 weeks before it's born.
That's actually correlated with a lot of spiritual texts that show that the baby doesn't get its soul, I think it's at 49 days, which coincidentally is when the heartbeat comes. So I believe in
Evan's scrolling through the internet right now. He's completely checked out again. But it's only because we were talking about women's rights.
Let me establish why being pro-choice is very important. Because if you make abortions illegal, people are not going to stop having it. They're just going to start having it in dangerous ways.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be illegal, but they shouldn't be as easy as like buying a burger at a drive-thru.
Listen, I know people who fucking had abortions that I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? But you know what? They're like not here.
Right.
So do they deserve to be raising a kid? Does that, you know, these debates you can go on forever. It's not the point.
They should be made infertile, like what the Nazis were doing.
Sorry, there we go. He lets his true colors. The Jew is a Nazi.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show how he knows nothing.
Well, exactly. But if you look at the background of Planned Parenthood, I mean, like the lady who started it, she was like the racist fucking.
She was a eugenics.
Yeah, that was what the Nazis wanted to do.
You know? Billy fucking Gates is eugenics. He's all about eugenics.
Well, he really scares me, man. And I don't want to believe in those conspiracies, but I've been watching a lot of these videos, and I really think
the word conspiracy was invented by the CIA.
I saw that conspiracy video last night.
In order to, which conspiracy video did you see?
The newest one that has like 15 million views. My homegirl Nora sent it to me.
Out of Shadows?
Jesus Christ.
Out of Shadows, the one I was talking about.
It might be Out of Shadows. It's like 2 hours long or some
Wait.
shit.
Oh no, there's one that's an hour long. You guys have to watch that shit.
You conspiracy guys. Do you guys think that
I prefer Agent of Truth.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. Like, in your worldview, do random horrors happen, or is everything a planned architecture? Because I
don't believe in that.
When people say that shit is fucking stupid.
I'm not a conspiracy. That's the thing, is I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because I think
I 100% am, because I believe in the truth.
I think that you can't get that many people to do something at the same time, especially on such a grand scale. Keep their mouth shut and people not find out. It's just never gonna fucking
Here's the deal.
Nobody couldn't say it's a disgrace at the same time. Or whatever the fuck it was.
Because we're fucking plebeians, okay?
Yeah.
You don't need, here's the deal. You don't need every
That's the second time you used that word. Can you please define it for Kevin and our listeners?
For Josh.
But Josh, don't fucking.
Josh, hold on. No, don't explain what it is. This is my favorite thing to
Want me
do.
to tell you right now?
Shut the fuck up.
He just looked it up on the dictionary.
Everybody shut the fuck
I'm
up.
in the dictionary. My fucking hands are right here.
Josh, what do you think
Alexa,
it is?
what's a plebeian?
Shut up. What do you think it is? What does it sound like?
Holy shit, my door is closed and she's answering me from the other room.
I
You
know.
think this fucking thing doesn't listen to everything?
Always listening.
God
Why
damn
the
it.
fuck do you have an Alexa? You
Alexa, you fucking bitch. We're trying to have one funny moment on the show.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
Now he knows what the word means. So
No, he
what's the
doesn't.
fun in that?
I just
hear it.
Josh,
didn't hear it.
Josh, what do you think plebeian means?
an unadvanced organism.
Perfect. Great. Yes, that's what it means.
You're on the right track.
You're on the right track.
It's what they call the common people of Rome, the people who didn't have any say in the way things work.
Oh,
Yeah.
Goyim.
Leonardo, the next time it happens, what we want to do is we want him to think of whatever his stupid thing that he thinks in his mind, and then say, yes, you got it right. And then the rest of his life, he'll be an idiot in public, and it's just a gift we've given to the world. That's how I usually handle it.
John, you have like 10 years more education with me, including the years you were stalking high school girls. And you're not that much smarter than me.
Shut up. Leonardo's listening. She doesn't like to hear that
What do
shit.
you mean the 10 more years that he's still doing it? I've seen him hanging around the schools. There's nobody there. They're all home. This is why he got Zoom. So he could stalk girls online.
All right, guys, we're going to have to end the episode. We're going to have to end the episode early now.
You guys heard about those people that were bombing Zoom meetings. It was John, and he was showing girls his undeveloped chest.
Is that what happened? Is that why they made Zoom?
And he's saying, I'm just like you guys. I
Keep
also
going.
have my tits.
Keep going. I'm interested in this fantasy.
Wait, I was wondering, why did they ban Zoom? People were like crashing Zoom meetings? Is that what happened?
Zoom
I told you what happened to...
I should just know that.
You
My
know,
friend-
it started, you know what's crazy? Those people that hacked Zoom at first were like, all right, what we're going to do is look at the kids. And then one of them was like, I think I could talk to one of them. One of them had to take that chance. That's how they got found out.
No. Let me ask you guys a question, because when I brought up the...
Yeah, you guys didn't give me anything for this one.
Yeah.
No,
I like watching you just die, right?
Yo, but you could have like added to that one. That was a good one.
Thank you for that moment.
Kevin, I'm not in a very funny mood this episode.
Kevin, you brought us back to what it's like watching you do stand-up, so we appreciate it.
First of all, yo,
I do like that she has knives out for everybody, though.
Yeah,
That is beautiful.
You know, Leonardo, just wait, because Kevin's been watching a lot of comedy and writing a lot of stuff down.
Classic. This is a classic Kevin move.
So here's a question I have for you guys, because when I brought up the idea of these pedophile cults, a lot of you guys said, do you really believe that? You all reacted like it was a huge conspiracy. And yet, we all know that Jeffrey Epstein was running a pedophile cult for the elites. What the fuck
I mean,
happened?
okay.
As soon as I say that, Kevin's like, I'm out. I know too much
Kevin
about
left. We know how Kevin feels about that. Kevin, listen, now that he's not here, I'll just tell you, Kevin's a pedophile.
Don't
He
say
actually fucks kids all the time. And I try not to say anything, but hold on, let me let him
it.
back
In
in.
his defense, he has the brain of a
Yeah, he has the brain of an 11-year-old.
Guys,
So
you can't claim that about Kevin because he likes older women, and by older women I mean
he means moms. He likes moms too.
He's the opposite of a pedophile, man.
Yeah.
He's a grandma.
Hey, welcome back, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, you're not a pedophile.
Well,
Not
I
like
know,
what we
this
just
is
said you
important.
were, but you're not really.
This is an important question because whenever somebody would bring up child sex cults to me, I'd automatically go, "Oh, you're crazy. That's a conspiracy."
Right.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you guys, why do you think that it's not real?
Well, here's the thing. From the movie that I saw that my friend sent me, the thing that they tie it in with is this Satanist conspiracy tied into the government,
Good.
which, it sounds so fucking.
I mean,
Sounds so fucked up. It does.
hold on a second. I'll say what I think.
I'll address that later. Go ahead.
Oh, what do you want to say, John?
John was saying
Oh,
something.
you want me to
Oh, I
finish?
was gonna say it's like pederasty and that sort of like undercurrent of culture has always existed. In like the 20th century, it gone underground, and I feel like it has reared its head, like especially in the Catholic Church. Like there were thousands and thousands of churches, like all of Boston and all of these places whose society has been rooted in the church, and that's where they've been able to get away with it. And
So do you think the
apparently,
church is the only place?
So here's the
no. What I was gonna say, apparently, and like it's definitely less reported on, but certain stars have like, you know, lives have been broken. Like you hear about like the boy bands and stuff like that. But it's definitely been less like, or that movie with Robin Williams, fucking Death to Smoochie, a good movie that like exposed it a little bit. But you've always heard about how it happens in, you know, the first scene of Death to Smoochie.
That's the one where the guy's like retarded and he's his sidekick or something.
No. It's like the first scene of the movie is fucked up. And like I remember when I saw it, I was like, I've never seen anything like this. But it was like a diner scene, and a family sits down with another guy. One of them is Robin Williams, and it's like they're brokering the sale of their child to this pedophile. And I was like, what the fuck? This is not, and this movie's come out like 20 years ago or something like that. But like, yeah, you've always like heard about it from that, but you always knew about it making fun of like your pastor fucked you or something like that. That's always just like shorthand in our culture.
So wait, so let me say,
Hold on.
Wait, please. So here's the thing. You're like, when you hear this, it sounds like it's a crazy conspiracy. The pedophile part doesn't sound that far-fetched, but when they start talking about it being like a ritualistic satanic thing where like a group of people are like doing rituals, what was it called? Soul cooking? That fucking spirit cooking. Yeah. No, like it's starting to get like, it sounds too outlandish to
just hold that thought. I'm going to address it. Kevin, do you have any reason why you think that the whole pedophile cult thing is completely outlandish and couldn't really be true?
Oh, no. I think it could be true, but when it goes to, like he said, like they're still saying like they pray to an owl and that owl tells them they need to give it up. They need to chop that kid's dick off. I'm like, yo, bro, it's not for me.
Now we're going to.
It's not for me.
Here's the deal.
That's why he's becoming a Jew.
Here's the deal. Yo,
just the tip.
Check this out. This is one of the amazing things about a real fucking evil. Okay, and I'm not using evil in the sense of Satanist. I'm using evil in the sense of what they do to children, because that's the most evil you can fucking be.
Yeah.
It can hide in plain sight. Kevin Spacey did so many movies where he was a fucking criminal, and he did that movie American Beauty where he was a pedophile out in the open. I was hearing about Kevin Spacey for fucking years, and I thought it was crazy. And guess what happened? It came out that Kevin Spacey is a pedophile, and he tried to play it like he was gay. Hold on, more. When you say about the Satanists, that to me also, it goes, that's fucking insane. And you know why we say that? Let me tell you why we say that. Because our society has been secularized over time.
Right.
We have fallen away from religious and spiritual beliefs, so that there is an underlying assumption amongst anybody who's sort of kind of college educated and sort of halfway intelligent, that the spirit world is a nice kind of metaphor. God and the devil are metaphors.
No, I'm a religious zealot though.
No, wait, let me finish. The general population thinks that this is insanity. And so the idea that real government officials who are supposed to be our secular leaders would take this seriously strikes us as completely insane, okay? And it is insane that these people would do that. The fact that they would do it, the fact that them doing it is insane doesn't make it insane to think it might exist. And let me tell you why. The artist, Marina Abramovich, do me a favor, go ahead and look up.
I saw she was in that movie I watched.
All of her art is satanic art.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
There's video of this spirit cooking dinner party with all these fucking
Jay-Z and shit.
What?
Jay-Z.
They're eating cakes that are shaped like human bodies.
They're not shaped like humans. They look like fucking humans. And they have a red sauce to imitate blood. You think you're eating a human. Who the fuck is going to eat that and not lose their goddamn
Leonarda, hold on a second. Leonarda, so when you're like, yes, like if it's some type of like alternative cultural phenomenon that like wealthy assholes are doing, now what is the, like, there's obviously no power or there's nothing beyond like their own satisfaction of I'm doing some fucked up thing that I believe is great, whatever. In the same way that like people who go to, in the same way that Josh, who fucking can't do half an episode without like praising God, same shit. It's just another version of human need to fucking find some bullshit meaning in
Listen,
this.
John, I know you don't believe in things that aren't tangible, that you can touch, that you can feel. I'm telling you, for me, God is 100% real. He's saved me hundreds of times in my life.
I don't want to go.
I reiterated this fact earlier in the episode. You're an idiot.
I want to say, John.
Thank you, John.
If you admit that these people are doing these things under a satanic ritual, that doesn't mean that you're admitting that these satanic rituals are legitimate. These people are fucking delusional, but their delusion is driving them to do insane things to people.
Right, but those same type of delusions are like in mundane also institutions that have been around forever. Like all the major religions are those same type of delusional things that have had a lot of like weird predilections and all this stuff associated with them, like cleaned up, but still to now.
Right, but all major religions that I can think of, I'm not that intelligent as John has pointed out, but Hinduism, Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they all at least for their own followers at minimum are wanting for the good and wanting for the best and the health of the family and the community and happiness and a good life. We're talking about people who are part of something, even if it's as asinine and doesn't have any power, who have such faith in something, but their intention is evil.
Yes.
Their intention is evil. It's to destroy lives, to get power. It's fucking insanity.
And these people, they believe. I mean, it doesn't matter if their belief is true. What matters is they're acting on it, and real people are suffering.
Exactly. Is the Catholic Church powerful?
And they get us to think that what they do is they get everybody to go, because we think that Satanism is insane, which it fucking is. But because we think that, the minute somebody comes in and says, hey, guess what? You're democratically elected leaders. Some of them are participating in these sick rituals. They go, you're crazy because that's insane. And somebody like this wouldn't do that. And that's not true.
Right.
And this is the thing. You guys have to unplug your mind, because as much as we recognize that the media is fake, we still accept a lot of what they tell us. And this is the crazy thing of, I forgot what the name is, when you have cognitive dissonance. When you have two contradictory thoughts in your head, but you can't put them together to see what the impact is. So we have the belief that the media is false, and yet we believe what the media tells us. Mm. These are two things are separated in our brains, and instead of putting them together, going, wait, if the media is a propaganda machine, and they're trying to spin something for some agenda, then maybe this piece of information that they told me isn't true. Because the Jeffrey Epstein scandal was the biggest fucking news thing. Do you know how much people they would have had tuning in if they went in and exposed Bill Clinton's connection to this guy? Fucking Billy Gates' connection to this guy?
Right.
All of these people's connections. Mark Zuckerberg was on this island. They would have had media for days.
Yeah, but Zuckerberg was a virgin at the time.
They would have had media. So was the girl he probably molested. They would have had media for years. And so if their whole goal is profits and making money, why didn't they investigate it?
You think the whole place was for children? Like to fuck children?
He had
or do you think it was like a wing?
He had an island.
I can't believe that everybody.
Yeah, okay.
I can't believe that every successful person went on that island and was like, "Oh, I want to fuck kids." You tell me all the people that are pedophiles?
Why does this man have a temple on his fucking island?
Leonarda. I'm a billionaire. I might have a temple too.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's happening is that like.
Well, we now answer the question about whether Kevin is a pedophile.
Leonarda, Jesus
I didn't know pedophilia and running a temple was two things.
Guys. Kevin is too poor to be a pedophile, but if you got him an island with a template,
I'm not saying I
Kevin was like, if they don't have roller coasters in video games like Neverland, it's not really.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
Don't you go to a temple?
I was just gonna say, guys, man, she is taking this Bernie thing hard.
He let me down.
Christ. That is heavy, dudes.
It was the first time I trusted a Jew.
Well, I know that.
Again.
Stop using
my Holocaust slogan. Never again will I trust a Jew.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't trust you. I've never trusted you.
Wow. See, that's why I went through your pocketbook.
No, but people are losing their minds on my Facebook page because
Really?
I love it. It's
I
hilarious.
had a bunch of liberal people
I'm
and
gonna look. Can I look?
I haven't looked yet.
I haven't
and
looked.
now
Can I
I'm
look?
coming out going Trump 2020, and it's like people are like, you ever seen that meme where people fucking lose their shit and
I love it. It's so hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious, dude.
You know what? God, you are proof of God.
Thank you. I believe that.
That's a wild statement.
Yo.
True.
Kevin's just
Trump
mad you didn't say
supporter?
that to
Proof
him.
of God.
Kevin's like, what about me, man? I'm better every day.
I know. Why do you like Leonarda so much?
We're still early in Kevin's conversion process.
Listen, guys, I 100%
Oh my God! People are writing paragraphs under your fucking post.
You see that shit? I post something, there's like 40
Wait a second. Kevin, can you just scroll through it and let me know if it's less crazy or more crazy than Ralph Jean-Pierre type trolling?
Who the fuck
This
is
guy
Ralph?
wrote a lot.
Yeah, it's intense, John.
You know when you know you wrote a lot? When you have to press see more in a comment, you wrote too much.
Yeah.
So you know what somebody wrote on my thing? Somebody wrote on my thing, somebody I don't know who I'm friends with through another person on Facebook was like, it really pains me because somebody as obviously intelligent and talented as you has just fallen down the rabbit hole of propaganda. And I wrote back to him, we've never met. Your appeals to emotion will not work on me.
Wow.
How do you know that I'm intelligent and I'm not just completely retarded and full-blown Trumpian?
I mean, yeah.
Nothing to say to that.
Wow.
You see, the thing is, I love it because it's the perfect storm. Because you were.
I was waving the communist flag.
I know.
Yeah.
Fucking singing the fucking Russian national anthem. You were doing the whole fucking thing. You know what you're like? You're like the audience in Rocky IV.
You kind of just.
Oh my God, dudes! It's amazing how much time these guys have.
So, but the perfect storm is that she is more passion than the most passionate person, and they're all gonna get a piece of her fucking mind.
Leonarda, I will tell you this though. You gotta get them. Listen, give yourself the light because you're also having comments there that you have see more on. You can't do that. You gotta kill them 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, Kevin, because I started getting emotionally involved and I was like, wait a second, these people, I don't care about these people. The only people I'm gonna actually fight with are people I really care about that I want to
fight with each one. Fight with each
Yes.
one, but only for
a wise man once said, always argue with fools.
Yes.
But only for 2 sentences.
Over 4 sentences.
You know what? I'm gonna write things that I know are gonna piss them off. Right?
Yeah.
Like somebody put up a post, one of my Facebook friends put up a post about how if you're a Bernie supporter, which I was, how you have to now vote for Biden because look, Bernie did this. And all I commented under her thing was, I'm voting for Trump. And it was fire underneath her comments. People were losing their goddamn mind. And I'm like, you can't stop me. Nah.
Yeah.
2020, I'm gonna fucking pull that lever.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin and I.
This button? Don't push Trump 2020. Is this the one you don't want me to push?
Yeah.
I'll push it.
You just go from one delusional worldview to another.
Yes, I do. But you know what? At least this one has cut off funding to the WHO. And that's all I really ever wanted to see in my life.
That's all you ever wanted to see in
All
life?
I ever wanted to see.
You was 7 years old. What do you want to happen when you get older?
I was like, when I get older,
son.
I want whoever's in charge of our government to cut funding to the WHO. And whoever it is will have my vote. And that has happened.
Damn.
Man, I didn't know the government was giving that much money to that band.
500. Did we talk about what did you call the thing I did? Tacky or hacky? You just did.
I had to.
It was cute. It was cute because he just found out about the band The Who.
I did.
It was more vaudeville like.
You don't understand how uncultured Kevin is.
Oh no, I do. I hang out with Kevin.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to remember, even though whoever's listening probably doesn't know this, we're all comics, and we should
Not this episode.
Not this episode.
I am a political correspondent. You know what the funny part is, though? We're probably all more qualified than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, shit. What you got against AOC?
Yo, we'll find out what.
Let me tell you how that bitch got the job.
Hold on a second. Time out. We'll find out what you have against Ocasio-Cortez in our Patreon episode coming up next.
Bonus, baby.
Modus.
Wait, but
Hey,
let
hey,
her
yo.
plug her stuff.
Good night.
Wait, Kev, let her plug her stuff.
Oh, hey guys,
wait.
if you guys follow me on Instagram at Leonarda is funny. I'm dropping sketches every week. I drop a new one tomorrow. What happens when your Albanian son is a disgrace? I play both the son and the mom. It's good times for all.
Hell yeah.
Listen, this has been an episode of Low End Gigolos. We killed this shit. If you don't want your kids to come out conspiracy theorists, good night and pull out, bitch.